Playoffs. Here we go.
Playoffs.
Boo, 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 boo. Let's go.
Hey guys,
So
very exciting, guys. Well,
you guys.
Yeah, exactly. I know Kyle had his live stream last night, but we wanted to get this pregame done today. James and I are going to be traveling to Houston tomorrow. Yep. So we just were like, okay, wait a second. What's the best time for us to do it? We got to do it now because tomorrow is going to be a mess traveling. And we don't know when we're going to get to the Airbnb and all that stuff. So,
yep.
Exciting.
And we even got a Friday meetup out in Houston. We don't want to miss that. So we're trying to just cram this all in today.
Yep.
So you guys can enjoy that. We can enjoy our time out in Houston. And we're looking forward to it, guys. This is a great game, man. Once again, this is an exciting but yet a nerve-wracking part of the year. Win or go home kind of situation now. So, man, we got a lot to talk about on this one, man. So I'm excited about it.
It's going to be a good one, guys. Okay, I'm going to hit the button. Let's get into it.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What's up, Pyramid, man? You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Boat Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
Yeah.
All righty. Well,
yes, sir.
It's going to be exciting, guys. And I'll say this, guys. It's exciting to see the Chargers in the playoffs. I think there's a lot to be said. Had a buddy of mine message me this morning talking about how he heard Lab McConkey's going to be hurt and Quinton. We'll get in all the injuries and stuff moving forward. But I think there's a lot of people on the questionable list that I think they'll be fine. So plenty of on that.
I think he's just flapping his gums. He don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of crazy. Yesterday, I was driving around, obviously, just doing my thing, and then there was a car in front of me that had a Texans, logo on there, and I was like, wow, that's kind of weird. The first time I've seen a Texans logo out here in Arizona, but you know what? I'm going to be out there here shortly, and for some reason at work, I'm having all these connections with Houston for some reason. So I got the 411 on the good barbecue places, the Tex-Mex to go to, everything like that. So I'm ready for it.
Dang. All right. I like that, man. Sounds good.
Going to be good, man. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game, though, man. And it's really exciting to be able to see a lot of fans getting pretty excited about it. A lot of the influencers will be out there, too. Boltman's basically on the move out there right now, too. Mm-hmm. Really, really exciting time. So I can't wait to be out there, guys. It's going to be a very, very fun time, man, and exciting all around.
Yeah, and guys, we did start this podcast once we got the final injury report.
Yep.
So we can actually be very focused on what's going to be available for us. So we were waiting for that to drop. So, again, guys, our times were a little bit off, but that's exactly what, we were waiting for. So at any rate, let's get going.
Man, let's get it going.
Let's talk about it. Pull up them slides.
Pull up them slides. Slide it on in. Here we go. So here's the hater once again. Outcho mine once again. You got basically exactly perfectly put, dude. Perfectly put. What a clown. But 3 out of the 4 basically say the Chargers are going to be the one, and then Outcho's the guy again. He's like,
of course.
I'm sure what he probably said something to the effect of Justin Herbert just ain't that guy. CJ Stroud's that guy, kind of thing. Like, once again, the thing is, though, the playoffs it is the best of the best in the NFL regardless. And you are playing the best teams all around. And there's room for concern for that, obviously. But there's a lot of reasons where I could say the Chargers have the upper hand on this one. And I think a lot of the media says the same thing, too. Obviously, Chase Daniel chose us, too, because he loves the Chargers, too. Mm-hmm. I get it. I mean, he worked with Justin Herbert. Yep. I love watching his breakdowns of Justin Herbert every single week. I mean, it's phenomenal to watch. But once again, we got the hater out there once again.
The hater.
The hater.
Drinking that haterade, man. Yeah.
With that lime green sweater. Don't look good on him, dude. It's a bad color, you know. Whatever.
Hey, you know what? We could probably Photoshop that one, put something else on it. You know, like
Yeah, exactly.
We could put Joy Taylor's face on the sweater and stuff. You know?
Oh man, that's a whole other can of worms you're opening up right there, Kyle. That's a whole other can of worms, man.
Oh, I know, man. Controversy. That's all good, man.
That Fox Sports Network, woo! Yeah, it's getting spicy over there.
It's spicy. Spicy
over there. So once again, being a clown, Oucho. He is out to show mine. So pretty.
It's crazy. A distraction from his lawsuit, is what Miguel says. I think that's pretty good.
Yep,
man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that whole situation. Marcellus Wiley talked pretty heavily about it, and there's a couple other podcasters out there that worked with them too. So it's wild to see. But anyways, we got the hater back in there. Got quite a bit of the media choosing the Chargers in this one for a fair amount of reasons, and we'll talk about that later on in the show.
Yeah, and Telesco did get fired too, which is pretty interesting. So not really surprised there. I really didn't think that there was anything good that was going to come out of him being the GM there, and clearly there wasn't. They realized, okay, this guy's a bit of a clown. Yeah. Would you always say, James, he's the guy at the water cooler?
Every Monday morning, just popping over there. Hey, man, what's going on? How you doing?
Man, how you doing? Hey, man,
that's great.
You have a good weekend? Yeah.
Oh, cool. Man. Yeah. Like, he's just kind of that guy that just wants to be like loved by everybody kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to try to rattle any cages. I'm just here to hang out. I'm here for the payroll kind of thing. Like, obviously he didn't do well. And that's a great move for the Raiders to move on from him. Now, where are they going to go from here? Like, I heard some things about the Raiders really going all in on Ben Johnson. And that's a one, rookie year type head coach. If Ben Johnson gets to there, you don't know if an offensive coordinator translates to a great head coach. Like, you have no idea on that. And do the Raiders have money to spend for what Ben Johnson wants? I mean, apparently last year he was asking for more money, which he ended up getting more money to stick with the Lions. He's a hot name. I don't know, man. I don't know what to take from it. So, and I know Tom Brady's involved with the head coaching and probably GM search. There's been talks about, is Bill Belichick available, even though he went to NC? Who knows? Who knows if it's crazy to me, because I think Bill Belichick jumped from the Jets to the Patriots and kind of did that same thing of like, oh, well, here I'm hired by the Jets. Now I'm going to the Patriots. And I'm wondering if he would do that on college level to basically the NFL level. That would be interesting. But anyways,
it's doesn't really matter. We just want to see the Raiders just continue to implode as per usual, which is great. But it is interesting conversation. I will say this though, everyone's picking the Chargers to win this game now, and I would agree we should win this game. Now, you got to wonder, right? The only thing I can say with Oucho is that we are an unproven team in the NFL in the playoffs, right? So look how we imploded against the Jags. Again, we don't want to bring that up, that absolute disgusting feeling we got there. But the reality is you got to prove it, and this is a prove it league, right? So, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think we're playing a lot better football now. We should win this game. I mean, we really should, but
100%. And that's the whole thing. Like, we have a lot. To me, it's a momentum thing than anything. Chargers last 2.5 games, and I'm saying 2.5 games because I'm going back to the Bronco game, because the second half we absolutely dominated and we shifted the team at that point. If we play that dominant football and have that great momentum, I think we'll be fine. Like, I think we'll absolutely be fine. And I think it's going to be, even to say that some of the scores that are on the board, it's kind of like, get about 24 points, you probably win this game. Like, 24 points is like the key in my opinion. You will find a way to win the game if you get 24 points.
I mean, realistically, like, we've been holding teams on average to 17 points. So I mean, not even 24. If we just get 3 touchdowns, that's all we need, and we win the game, basically.
Yep.
By the way, somebody said this earlier, but and I didn't really believe it. I just looked it up. We waived Jordan McFadden.
Yes.
An hour ago.
That's crazy.
That's pretty shocking, and I do wonder why. I'm assuming he wanted a bigger role or something. I mean, it's the only thing I can think of. But wow, that shocks me, guys. That really surprises me.
Well, I mean, James said it, but I really think it's really just they're trying to make some room for somebody else to come in. You know,
but you wouldn't think you'd let him go, right? Like, I mean, he's he was going to be the fullback. He was going to be like a backup center. He was going to, there was a lot there that I don't know. I just didn't think that he would be. I didn't think he'd be the guy that get let go. I could think of other people on the practice squad that would probably get let go over him, but yeah. A little shocking to me.
I think the thing with that too, and what's crazy to me about that move is that how much they were focusing on Jordan McFadden trying to be that fullback too, and he was getting very involved in being a multi-purpose type player, and it didn't obviously work out because obviously Scott Matlock became the fullback, and he's done a great job, and he even got to an alternate of Pro Bowl this year, which is great. And albeit who cares if we get to the Pro Bowl or anything like that, because I want to get to the Super Bowl, but for an accolade for a player, that's phenomenal for him to be able to get to that point.
Right.
So,
yeah.
So either way, I think he'll just get put on the practice squad. They'll release somebody on the practice squad. They'll bring him back in on that side.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about some of the injuries on the injury report. Once again, when you do go into the playoffs, you get 2 more IR pull-ups that you could bring back in and activate too. And so
which is nice.
In that position now that we could do that. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but bottom line, NFL preview game picks. Pretty much everybody picks us outside of GPG.
Yeah, I wonder who GPG is. Who's that?
I don't remember who GPG is.
I was just thinking who that is. I'm like, who cares?
He's got Adam Rank picking us, Adam Stank, and is he on board with us now? Is he eating crow? I guess now. Either which way. This is the media
someone in the chat. Someone in the chat. Let us know who GPG is, because we have no. Who is it? Who is that fool? Yeah, who's that clown? Hey, get that pen out and draw a clown on his face or something like that. Yeah. Oh, that's Chat GPT. No, it's GPG. Yeah, not
Chat GPT.
Yeah, Chat GPT. What, Chat GPT? Chose Houston. Wow. Okay, that sucks.
Yeah.
There you go.
Boy. Oh boy. Well, once again, Andrew and I are going to be in Houston tomorrow. There is basically a meetup at the HTX Social Beer Garden. It starts at 6 o'clock, goes till 10. It looks like a really cool indoor-outdoor type venue. It's got screens outside. It's got like a bunch of live music. It's got like, I think I even saw some sort of weird like burlesque type dance thing or something. There. I have no idea what that's happening.
There we go.
Nice.
Kind of weird. So we'll see what happens there.
We'll see what happens.
Yep. We'll see how it happens. But it looks like a really cool spot. It's got food trucks there too. It's got obviously a bunch of beers. It's kind of cool. It looked like they have like a museum of like Stein cups too around the world too. So really, really cool. So we will be there tomorrow night as long as our flights go fine. It's going to be a little chilly out there. It's going to be in the 40s ish. And then game day, it's going to be in the 50s. So it won't be too bad. And then game day, we're with the Nuff Said Tailgaters. So that starts, I think it's like 11 o'clock, or I believe, a.m. out there. That is standard Central Time. And it's $50 to basically do a all you can eat, all you can drink thing within the tents. Now, you could still just go there and hang out there. No problem. Go ahead and do that. You do have to pay for your tickets in advance to be able to go to the Nuff Said all you can eat and drink situation. There's a link, actually, if you go to Bolt Pride's Facebook page to be able to sign up for that. So it's going to be great, guys. I mean, the more people I keep seeing showing up for this, it's going to be a great time. And I really hope the Charger fans are showing up on this one, man. This is a big game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Swoop and D Bolt Pride is going to be out there. It's like, because they've been sharing stuff about it too. So like, there's it's not just going to be Texas group, whatever. It's I think it's honestly a combined thing. Texans fans, Chargers fans are all hanging out, so mind your P's and Q's. Don't get into a fight before the game and get locked up in jail the night before. You know what I'm saying, bros? Like, I'm talking to you especially, Andy. Come on now.
Well, remember when Andy wanted to fight the chief? Yeah. Chiefaholic,
yeah, he did.
And it's crazy. He's got a whole documentary about him now.
He does.
Isn't that nuts?
That is so funny, man. And that guy, man,
he's infamous.
What a trip.
Infamous.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's more than famous. He's infamous.
Infamous.
Yeah.
That's so funny. So funny.
But
There's a lot to be said about that, though. But it'll be a good time. We'll, hey, we'll bring our best behavior to Houston. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Keep it classy.
Sure, and, you will.
here's also for Arizona, for my Arizona homies. Once again, back at Native Grill and Wings. The flyer looks good. The flyer looks good.
It's good, much better.
No Wiggins. No Wiggins.
Yeah. No Wiggins. We got wings this time. So it's good. But there's going to be a lot of people showing up. Even last week, Andrew and I were there, and it was a good crowd. I mean, it was awesome. Honestly really, really loud. People were excited. It's going to be a great time. So if you're in the Arizona area, go out to Native Grill Wings. It's in Phoenix, Arizona. It's technically Ahwatukee area. Go on out there, 530 East Ray Road. Awesome time. So show up there, patio at 2 p.m. I kind of unsure why they gave us the patio when most of the season's over with. I'd think that they'd give us the room at this point, but back at the patio, which is kind of not bad because you kind of linger outside if you want. You don't have to sit inside the patio the whole time. So if you want to kind of just hang out and drink some beer, whatnot, you can kind of still hang out outside the patio and stuff too. So it's a good time, and the weather's good out here right now.
Yeah, the weather's nice, so may as well just enjoy it. You can be loud as you want right out there too.
Oh yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great time. So,
we were loud too. It got pretty hyped. We were
really loud, dude. Yeah. Really loud. The manager even poked his head in when things were going on. Like, what's going on, man? Like, that's crazy. It's going crazy out there. So it was really good. So come on out there, man. It's a good time. Bull Pride 602 should be out there too, and great times, guys. So and also Kyle's been putting up a lot of posts on our social media of other parties throughout Southern California at various locations too. So keep an eye out for it, guys.
I'm seeing anything that I see. If you guys are like from some other club or whatever, that share it, tag me in it or whatever like that, on Instagram, and I'll share it like instantly. It doesn't no questions asked. Just it's gone. It's out there. Yep.
That's the thing. We like to support everybody out there. We want to make sure the Bolt fam could get together and hang out together and enjoy games together and enjoy events together. I mean, that's the thing. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
And one thing too, guys, stay safe. I know these fires in LA are just crazy.
Awful.
You got to wonder how many. I can't remember. It was a Rancho Cucamonga. There was this whole neighborhood gone flat.
Yeah.
Multi-million-dollar homes just gone. And I was just Hollywood Hills is burning. Yep. It's kind of like it's that movie, the movie with Seth Rogen and This Is the End or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Did it actually happen? I mean, so I'm just saying, guys, like, I hope you're okay. Hope you guys are not affected. I know, Kyle, your old place, they almost had to move. Your old spot in Pasadena. So
because Altadena was on fire like crazy and stuff like that. Yeah,
so crazy.
I knew some people that actually had knew some people obviously that lost their homes up from that area and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, it's just so crazy.
Yeah.
So anyways, I just hope you guys are safe. I mean, football is one thing, being safe is another. That's important conversation. So,
absolutely.
Not to get too political, but it does sound like there's a water problem, and it sounds like Gavin Newsom's getting a lot of heat because apparently they wanted to fight the fire, and there's no water in the water plugs. Kind of hard to fight a fire, right? That's the whole point of it. So it's a little bit scary. You just got to wonder. Anyways, it's a spooky time, guys. So
hey, we're not trying to be political here. No, come on now.
Yeah, but just be safe. I'm just saying, guys. That's what we care about.
Yep. 100%, man. 100%. And I mean, to be even out here in Arizona, we've had a lot of windy days too, which were involved, I think, a lot with the situation going out there in LA. And we'll show some pictures here in a little bit about kind of some pictures of the Chargers practice and what it looks like there. But the whole thing too is that bottom line, be safe out there, guys. Make sure you guys are taken care of. Make sure Gavin and it was crazy even too. There was even a lot of the political mayor was out of town. All these other people were out of town, insurance situations. There was all these weird things kind of going on there about this, but it's really scary, guys. And I mean, I remember a couple of years ago being in LA and living in LA, and there was like a huge fire going on there too. And the amount of ash falling on my car. It was crazy. And, it was wild. So be safe out there, guys. I assume that the Chargers will probably be leaving out today to go to Houston. In my opinion, they probably better get out of there sooner than later. So we'll see.
And who knows if their house is going to be there when they come back. That's the scary part, right?
Yeah. And it seems like the houses, I mean, if they're in, say, El Segundo, Manhattan Beach area, there should be fine. A lot of it's more northern, but embers fly and they can make some more spark somewhere else. But right now it seems pretty like calm here in Arizona. I assume it's probably calm in LA, so it's probably helping out a little bit with the fires. But you need water to put out the fires, right? So we'll see.
Yeah. Crazy situation in general. So, but back to the Chargers though. This is a good slide here, right? I mean, Chargers clearly last year was a kick right in the pills, folks, right? As we would like to say. Look, at the end of the day, we had all the talent, but clearly we just lacked leadership. We lacked vision. We lacked anything. And, guys, we're 11-6 his first year.
Yeah.
Again, we're going to the playoff game with a very beatable team. We should beat, Houston, knock on wood. But it's exciting, right? It's exciting to see what happens here.
Man,
the future's bright. The future's bright. That's all it is right now, guys. Like, once again, all the stuff that's happening right now is just the start. This is just the start. And, you got to think a lot about this team that a lot of people said, hey, this is a rebuild year. Like, you've done a lot with players that have been basically just like 1 year kind of fill gap type situations. And we've gotten great things out of draft so far. Essentially, you've gotten 4 starting caliber base players right from the first draft.
Crazy.
Which is phenomenal. That is an absolutely successful draft. Like, you cannot say that is not a successful draft. That is huge for this team. So great to see, man. But gotta love Harbaugh, man.
Miguel's probably does still have wood. I think he took like 7 blue chews at the end of the game, so he's
got them blue chews in him.
He's gonna be rock hard, like all the way into the playoff.
We call that in the industry blue chews residuals. Get the residuals.
Bro, you would pass out, dude. You would straight be all faint, dude. All your blood would be gone, dude.
Someone's got to knock this out.
Probably way too relaxed right now, But hey, man, hey, I'm seeing.
Might be calling the doctor. He might have a, what is it? You get a ding-a-ling for a little too long. Gotta go.
It needs an injection. Yeah.
You go, oh boy, we got to knock it down with a cold spoon or something.
So I'm thinking about this slide here, though. Still, like, I'm still got my fingers and toes crossed that I want Jim Harbaugh to get that dang Coach of the Year right now. So
it'd be amazing.
I think the odds I saw last was at like 300 right now. So it's like a 3-to-1 chance. So I'm like, come on, man, we can make it happen.
I'll say this: if he wins this game, I think that will it'll spike him up even higher because. Immediately the worm is turned. We're moving in the right direction. You win a playoff game. Hell, if we win the next playoff, we win this one and another playoff. Let's say we beat the Chiefs.
Hands down. Yeah.
Woo, boy,
it's gotta be.
I don't think I'm not sure if we play the Chiefs yet, but we'll see. Yeah. Anyways, but a lot to be said about that, guys.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. I mean, that's the whole thing, man. Like. And there are people in the media that have talked about that too, about Coach of the Year. And they said, look, I'm not going to really make my votes because really you get your votes during the playoffs. So once again, he shows out well. I think he's got a great shot at it. So we will see. And once again, somebody in the chat talked about the Rams, and it sucks to be able to hear that the game might be moved to Arizona,
might be moved.
Which I will be back in Arizona.
Ooh.
Just saying, if that happens,
man.
Last time that happened, the Chargers moved when San Diego had a bunch of fires. They moved the game here to Arizona. They gave out a bunch of free tickets.
Oh,
and if that happens, I might go to the Rams Vikings game on Monday night. Why not? Free tickets. I'll be hanging out at the stadium. Why not in my Chargers jersey? I'll be rocking it hard. It'd be great.
There you go.
That'd be good. But here's one of the photos from today's practice.
Oof. They're wearing masks out there. That's crazy.
Yeah. They're rocking masks. I mean, I've seen a fair amount of my friends out in LA rocking masks and everything too. I mean, it's pretty ashy out there right now. I mean, that weather conditions is terrible looking and not good at all, guys. And once again, be safe out there. There was one photo I saw of the sunrise in LA, and it literally looked like the gates of hell were opening up. Like it was just a red looking sun and just ominous looking. And I remember our sister, she ended up they're sending a photo to us about her building that she works at. And that's over kind of in Glendale, I believe it was.
Glendale, yep.
And the building looked like something out of Gotham City or something like that. It was like an ominous looking photo and everything too. I mean, I'm sure she probably even thinks like, can that building just burn down so I never have to go back there? So I'll work from home. So
yeah, it's not just smog. No,
that's not just smog. Yeah,
it's not just smog.
I mean, it's scary, right? You know, and you know, it's tough. I mean, you know, bottom line, you know, this team has this momentum, and you know, it's scary, right? They're playing for not only the city, but they're playing for a city that's on fire, which is even scarier, right? So, boy, it's just bad situations. And this is interesting. Yeah, Miguel said someone just lit a big J. That's right, little Cheech and Chong action.
That's right, dude.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the thing about this whole practice, it does affect everything too. So like right here, Omar Ruiz yesterday, he said, you know, Justin Herbert and the Chargers continuing their wild card prep for the Texans. LA adjusted their practice schedule to limit players' time outdoors with poor air quality from the fields. Only offense on the field during this portion, defense to come out later. You know, Jim Harbaugh talked about it today, and he said, you know what, honestly, they're doing about half work all throughout the team, and special teams is even worse and less work. Wow. So, which, you know, that kind of could factor in a little bit to this game. Like, it could factor for a good thing, maybe just less work on your body, or it could factor in, hey, we're a little bit sluggish on this situation. You know, these whole things you can't control by any means, and you hope these players stay locked in, and you hope that Jim Harbaugh is making sure these players stay locked in. I kind of wish in one way or another the Chargers just basically moved everybody out of LA and just went to Houston early to be able to just kind of practice out there, just so they could kind of stay locked in a little bit. But I think it's also at the same side, you want these guys sleeping in their own beds as long as they got a house too, I should say too. But so
that might not have been a bad thing, right? To be there a little and just, you know, find a facility somewhere else to practice, right? So then you're not worried about this, keep them focused. I mean, who knows? But yeah, tough.
Yep. It's tough. So my hopes is that this doesn't really affect the way the game plays or anything like that. So, but once again, everybody out there, be safe, stay healthy, and do the right thing. Don't try to be Superman or anything like that and stay in your home or anything. There's some crazy videos I saw. It's wild to be able to see what people are sitting in their house when there's flames in their backyard. Like, get out. Leave.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, look, check it out. Like the fire's like right there in my backyard. You know, it's like, you should be leaving.
Yeah, you should be out of there, bud. Like, just leave. Yeah. So crazy, man, crazy. But I thought this was kind of an interesting chart, and so this is like a anytime TD score thing. Now, once again, when I looked at this, I thought, first thought was Chargers got more weapons than Texans at this point. You know, they only have Nico Collins, Joe Mixon is pretty much their two guys. And then you got JK, Ladd, QJ. Josh Palmer is out of this game, so he is completely off this chart. But the thing about it is I don't think the Texans have a whole heck of a lot of options right now. I think there's a lot less talent around them at this point because of a lot of injuries they've had. Who is the other wide receivers that ended up getting injured for the Texans?
Tank Dell's gone. He blew his knee out. Like, I mean, you don't even know if that guy's ever coming back. I mean, it was disgusting.
Right.
Like his knee went the wrong way. And I mean, it looks bad. So,
crazy.
And Stephon Diggs is also out too. So.
Oh, that's right. Stephon. Yeah, I forgot about that too. Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be interesting, guys. You know, I mean, you know, again, you lock down Nico Collins, you lock down Joe Mixon. I think they're dead in the water at that point. Right. So, you know, but again, you know, I think, you know, even when I did the post-game show with Quentin about Quentin, is that I think that he's understanding defenses, and he and Justin Herbert are on the same page. He understands, okay, this is inside leverage, this is outside leverage, this is how I should run this route. And they're getting on the same page, which is huge. So I just think it's really good to see. And again, you know, we all know Ladidi McConkey is doing great at this point, but I guess I did notice also, whenever Ladd was being double teamed, Quentin was just wide open the whole time. So, you know, it just goes to show you that, you know, one guy's covered. Okay. The other guy's going to beat you. Right. And so, and again, we got our tight ends. Disley's playing well enough. Right. And you know, having JK back, I think we're going to be fine. So definitely more.
You know, one thing that's
a big question there, Elliot.
What's Elliot asking about?
What's his number? Because it can't be 21 and it can't be 15.
It's 24, I believe.
Yeah,
I think it's 24.
24, yeah.
Yeah, so, let me check it out here.
I feel like 24 has been the rotating number all around. AJ
it has.
To I think Eli Apple,
Ryan Matthews.
Right.
Ryan Matthews.
Yeah. Holy smokes. I mean, obviously all the numbers get rotated around between players over the history, but it's kind of a crazy thing. But talk a little bit about Zeke. I mean, we'll talk a little bit about the injury report, but I think there's a good chance that he's going to get activated for this game.
I think so too.
I think there's a very, very good chance that's going to happen. So,
and the one person I would say, when we talk about injured reserve, Simi Fehoko, the thing that's great about him, he's a very good blocking wide receiver, right? He's very good at that. And so I think that's actually why he really just got a spot on this team. I mean, he's not really a very productive wide receiver per se, but he's very good at blocking and helping in the run game. And that's really what this team likes, right? So I think it's partially why I think Darius Davis probably hasn't been on the field a whole lot, because he's a negative in the blocking game because he's just too small, right? So anyways, it's something to think about, if Simi comes back, be mindful of that when he's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing that people talked a lot about with the whole Zeke pickup. If you watch really the way the Chargers running backs work, a lot of the times they're utilized for an extra blocker just to protect Justin Herbert.
Yep.
In the past, it was always like Austin Eckler being in the backfield. He does a good job of blocking, but it was always him going to the flat of some sort. It's almost like the running back's job first, obviously, is to run the ball and do well at doing that. But two, it's really about blocking first and then figure out if you could go out on the flat or be like a little out route for, the quarterback or whatnot. Blocking is paramount with this team. I feel like the same way with tight ends. Tight ends are very much, it's not about having this elite tight end. It's about having a very good blocking tight end. If you look at our tight ends, a lot of them are 260 pounds and above. You want bigger dudes on the edges to be able to block. And that's why Fisk has been getting a lot of play.
He's a big dude. He's a big
dude. And so I think really it's just about putting as much meat as they can on the line, making sure that everybody's protected. And once again, Justin Herbert's been cooking. When he's clean, he is cooking.
Where's the beef?
Yeah. When the other thing too is
the thinnest guy on the tight end group for sure.
Yeah, he really is just a wide receiver. He doesn't block that right now. The one thing I'll say too, and again, guys, I've been so bad at making these shorts, recapping videos. I will get them out there. I'll start bleeding them out this week once I get back from Houston. I apologize. I still haven't even done the Patriots game, so I'm there's going to be plenty that I can chop up. But my point is, moving forward, we are doing a lot of passing out of run formations, right? Yeah. 22 personnel, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs, 2 people in the backfield. And you're like, oh, it's a run play. No, they're passing out of that, right? And so, it's confusing the defense a lot, right? And I think it took us a while to really get that figured out. And that's what's really changed, right? So there's only 2 wide receivers on the field. And we're like, oh, this is going to be a run play. And, it looks like it's beef on the line. And then, no, we're throwing the ball deep. So that's where I think this offense has kind of struggled and getting into that. And why I'm saying this is if Zeke Elliott is brought up, he knows how to run power right, power left all day. You don't really need to know much. He just needs to know what to do, right? All right, these are the power plays. This is inside zone. This is outside zone. Here's power. These are the 4 or 5 calls we care about you to know. You're only going to run these when you're here. That's it. Yep. And so, dude, he's a veteran. He's got that figured out, day one. He's not, and he's a great pass blocker as well. So, and that's where I think Haskins and really Kamani Vidal aren't the best, right? I think that's where J.K. Dobbins is very good, but Zeke is great at that. So there's some value to that. So
big time. And there's definitely some value to that. And then the big thing about Zeke too is the goal line situations.
Yes.
Go back to last game, we had basically 3 opportunities to get a touchdown, 1 yard basically to goal. And we still couldn't punch it in. And I think that's really what it was. Harbaugh said, even when they talked about the whole Zeke addition, he said, hey, competitors welcome pretty much again.
Yep.
That's all it really is.
By the way, I got to say this, James. Didn't Jim Harbaugh say we were going to pick Joe Alt or the wide receiver we were going to get was Brian Thomas Jr.? Isn't that crazy? So he was not going to get Malik Neighbors. I think it was a personality issue. I think there was a fundamental this guy doesn't fit. But look at Brian Thomas. He's leading on a crappy team, guys. Nonetheless.
Yeah, right.
So there's a lot to be said about that.
Crazy, right? I mean, and you just look at but even to say, look at the gap between him and Ladd McConkey. Like, it's not that far off. And we got him in the second, plus Joe Alt. Absolutely made the right first and second round picks. Yeah, absolutely nailed it.
Knocked him right out of the park, man.
Yep. So
the thing that's interesting about this too, the only person that I think Brock Bowers is the only tight end, I believe, right? Yeah, is Jalen Coker. I think Jalen Coker is a wide receiver, I believe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Coker is a wide receiver, but
then Brock is a tight end, so that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Gotta love that. Four rookie wide receivers got over 1,000 yards, and I mean the gap is pretty big. And even Marvin Harrison Jr. under 1,000, which is kind of crazy to see. So,
which is shocking.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. I mean, I went to the Cardinals last practice and just watched his routes, and I mean the guy has some clean routes, and definitely could shake and bake and make things happen. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out. But it's crazy to me. I want to say that their tight end over the Cardinals didn't even get one touchdown this year. What's his dang name? He's a huge guy, but anyways,
tight end for the Cardinals.
Yep.
Oh, it'll come to me. Yeah, it'll come to
me. Trey Benson? No. That's his name. Anyways, I don't know.
Someone in the chat knows. Someone in the chat. That's fine.
Yeah. Trey McBride. That's what his name is. But
got it.
He finally did get 2 touchdowns this season. Okay, never mind. He did get 2. It was I think to week 16 or 17, he didn't even have 1 touchdown all season on 100-something catches, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. So bad offense, basically, which is weird. So, but to get into the game a little bit, here is a stat here that I think is pretty crazy just to look at. The turnover game is different between these teams. And so we're going against one of the best defenses in turnovers, in interceptions, that is. Mm-hmm. But they're going against one of the best offenses in not throwing interceptions. Yeah. So wild to see. 504 pass attempts for Justin Herbert, 3 interceptions, which is wild, to the Texans defense having 19 interceptions, being second in the NFL. So first place offense not throwing interceptions to the second place defense in the league getting interceptions. Now, once again, there's 3 players that are on the Texans that have those interceptions, or a majority of those interceptions too. So, which are, I believe, Kalen Bullock, their strong safety, Derek Stingley, and Kamari Lassiter, who's the other rookie on the cornerback side of things. So, and I think that's about 13 or 12 of those interceptions were from those 3 guys. Yeah. So now you got to go back to this team with the Texans. It's a two-faced kind of team in a way, where early in the season they beat the Vikings. You know where the Vikings are at. I mean, they had a phenomenal season. Once again, it's a criminal that they're in the 5th seed,
which is kind of record.
Yeah, absolutely criminal.
Nuts.
But then they also go and play against the Lions. Jared Goff throws 5 picks and they still find a way to beat him. And not meaning as in the Texans lost to the Lions throwing 5 after him throwing 5 picks. So there's 2 things about this team that are kind of funny. But the one thing is that Justin Herbert probably won't throw interceptions, but that's going to be an absolute key of the game for this team. Play away from those guys. Now, once again, it's 2 cornerbacks and a safety. You got to basically attack the middle of the field, in my opinion, in this game.
So the turnover differential, the Chargers are plus 12. Houston is plus 11.
Okay.
So sorry, plus 10. Plus 10, sorry. Okay. Now, the difference is they've given the ball up way more than us, right? Yep. So we're 4th, and then they're like 6th. And so, but they've thrown up 12 interceptions, a bunch of fumbles. They've given up the ball 19 times. The Chargers have only given up the ball 9 times. Yep. The only team that beat us on giving away turnovers is the Bills at 8. The Bills are plus 24 in the turnover margin, which is insane.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, jeez. Plus 24 is nuts, guys. So I'm just saying, just put it in context too, right? Yes, they're a good defense. They're not trending upward, but we'll see how it plays out. And I think Justin Herbert's going to hold the ball, and I think we might run the ball quite a bit this game too. We'll see what happens.
Yep, 100%. And we'll talk just a little bit about the trenches. I thought this was a really, really good. And this is to be honest, this is the key part of the game. And why do I say that more than anything? Well, one, you want to keep Justin Herbert clean, keep him upright, let him cook. And then two, you got to find a way to stop their edge rushers. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, those guys are absolute menaces, and they're the top sack leaders. They have over 10 base sacks, each one of them. That's where their pass rush comes from. Almost 100% of the time is from the line. Now, I even watched a little bit of the Baltimore game, and reason why Baltimore Texans game and how the Texans got smoked in that game. They don't really do a lot of 5-man rushes. They stick pretty confidently with about a 4-man rush, and they have all of their linebackers stay in the box and just put them out for coverage. Like they do not, they are very much zone. It reminded me a lot of Brandon Staley's defense, like a lot like how his defense was. There was not a lot of linebackers blitzing in by any means. Our offense definitely does that. We have a lot of corner blitzes. I believe it was probably about 2.5 of the quarters that I watched of that game. I think there was only one corner blitz and 2 other times that they had 5-man rush. And everything was 4-man rush. Linebackers stay back for coverage. There was not one single linebacker went in for a pass rush by any means. So very contrasting looking defenses to comparison to ours too. So, but the trenches are the game. This is the game right here. And these stats really hold up quite a bit. So,
and I've said this before too. The issue though, here's how you battle that is you run stunts. So your edge rushers will stunt on the inside.
Yep.
And where that becomes a problem is you can sometimes not be very gap sound, right? So if you start stunting, then you might not have pocket presence. Now, the other option is instead of actually trying to get to the quarterback and get a sack, you try and collapse the pocket around Justin Herbert, and because again, guys, yes, you want to get to the quarterback, but at the end of the day, it's sometimes if you just collapse a pocket and not allow Justin Herbert to scramble like he has been doing recently, that's a win as well too, right? If you just put a little pressure on him as well. So again, there's a lot of different ways you can run it. And if they're only going to rush 4, you're going to see a lot more of that than over blitzing, right? And so they're going to try and be creative, but they might leave a gap open, and Justin Herbert can exit the pocket and run for a first down, right? We all know he's got wheels, so it's something to keep in mind.
Yep. And in the contrast to say about the Texans line, I think it was somebody in the chat talking about how the Texans have given up about 56 sacks so far this season. I think it was 56, 57 sacks or whatnot. It's quite a bit of sacks. Their O-line is not very good. And there is also a thing that if you go back and look at a lot of the CJ Stroud type, snaps that he's basically had throughout, I'll just go back to the Baltimore game. He holds the ball a whole heck of a lot longer than he should. And but it's also, I think, because he doesn't have a lot of targets out there too. Like Nico Collins is this guy. Dalton Schultz is his guy. And there's not too many other guys other than that's going to be that target for us. So once again, the trenches is really going to decide this game. If we could hold them back from giving pressure to Justin Herbert and we could allow our run game to basically cook, it's going to be a lights out game, guys. It's going to be a lights out game. Lights out game.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said that. Now we do have our first
super chat.
We got Aether in the house. Hey,
let's go. There it is.
Okay. My bold prediction lab will announce himself as top wide receiver in the playoffs. 9 catches. Woo! 176 yards. Damn.
That'll be amazing.
31 and 14. Holy smokes. You know what? I would say this. I would love to see us have a score like that. 31 to 14.
100%.
Yeah. I would love to see us donkey punch them. Again, I don't expect it because look, Houston's a very good team, guys. Let's not diminish what they've done. They were in the playoffs last year. They are a very good team. I think CJ Stroud's been a bit of a disappointment. I got him on my fantasy team. He let me down this year. I'm pissed off. I'm so pissed off. I'm like, God, man, this guy sucks. And so, again, I do think our defense could probably shut down their offense. So I think they might not score that much. But you're right. If we shut down Joe Mixon, I think we'll be in good shape. That's just kind of my take on that.
Yep. Take away the run game. And the thing about it is that it's not like Joe Mixon's been lighting it up in the last couple of games. Now, albeit last week against the Titans, they only basically played CJ Stroud and the starters one drive essentially at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it sat everybody else from that point. They wanted to try to get a get-right drive, and they had a very good get-right drive. Now, albeit you did have that against the Texans, or excuse me, the Titans. And you also did lose to them earlier in the season too, which is crazy. So that's where this team is like, which one's going to show up? Will the real Texans show up, at this game? That's the whole thing. Like, for the Chargers, it's also the same thing. Like, go out there and handle your business. Momentum is really in our favor quite a bit in a lot of different ways. Even to say Aether's prediction about Ladd McConkey, if he balls out like that, we'll have 2 weeks in a row where one of our wide receivers got over 150 plus yards.
That'd be amazing. Let's make it happen.
QJ, basically, if he comes with that type of game that he had last week, and then Ladd's in there just balling out, it's going to be a tough game for the Texans.
It will be. But again, anything can happen in the playoffs. All you got to do is punch your ticket. Right. They're there. We're there. Right. Yes, we have momentum, but guys, it boils down to game plan, right? That's one of the things I will say that Jesse Minter is very good at. He's very good at game planning. How do we beat this team? How do we win? How do we stop them? How do we stop Joe Mixon? How do we stop their passing attack, right? And he's good at that, right? That's really what he's good at, and and I will say this, I also do think that that's where, Greg Roman has gotten better. I do think that our offense is finally clicking correctly. I think even Justin Herbert talked about it, that bottom line, it took a little time for them to figure out these formations and really figuring out, really how to run an offense the same way. So there was a bit of a learning curve for Justin Herbert also, but the rest of the team also, again, young wide receivers too. So
the plane is ascending, and it's going at the right exact time of the season.
Right.
And that's the whole thing. What people say a lot about the playoffs is who's the most healthiest going into the playoffs. And we're very, very healthy right now. You got to give a shout out to Ben Herbert once again, too.
Super surprising for that one.
Very surprising. And by the way, we are going live on Saturday. It might be a little bit delayed because Andrew and I will be in Houston for the game.
Yep.
So we will be going live. It might be just a little bit later. Obviously, depending on whatever happens at the game, we might be partying after the game, hanging out, doing our thing. We might be doing that regardless anyways, but we're just a stone's throw away from the stadium anyway. So we're hoping that we could go knock this out and get a dub out there, come on back to the apartment, and we'll end up, going live. But we will be going live on Sunday at some point in time after the game.
Yeah, exactly. It'll happen.
Yep.
But again, we're hoping for a W, and we'll be happy. If we don't get the W, we won't be happy. But it is what it is, right? One team has to win, one team has to lose. It is what it is. So
win or go home, baby.
That's part of that. It's part of the game. But no, I think this is a great slide though, James, because I do think that this is going to be the win-loss for this game. And
big time.
We all know that up the middle is the pressure that every team comes after us. It's all up the middle, right? So, if they do, guys, if they blitz, they're not going to blitz on the edges. They're not. Nope. They're going to blitz up the middle. So keep that in mind.
That's what they would do if they were smart about it, though, for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to give them any tips, but but at the same time.
Yeah, we're a bunch of talking heads on a podcast. If we can see it, they can definitely see it themselves, right?
Well, and I did watch a lot of like the Texans the last few weeks, and just watching their defense. They do not do a lot of stunts by any means. They're pretty vanilla with the guy in front of them. They do not really try to do many stunts at all. Like I said, they do not blitz their linebackers. They put them a lot more in coverage than anything and spy the quarterback. It was very interesting to watch. And then when you looked at the Ravens, and I'll go back to the Ravens game that they played, and they just destroyed them. Ravens were doing stunts, and it was confusing their line. They were getting to CJ Stroud. They were making him flustered, getting sacks. It was just really, really bad on their side. So why I keep referring back to that Ravens game is because that's essentially our team. Like, that's what our defense is like. So you expect the same type of things that they're going to do in this game. So I think if we could really get to them very quickly, we could have a real hot start. And obviously I want to have a strong finish too, for once. And we've been doing very, very well in second half in the last 3 games. So momentum once again is massive in this game. And I think that we're very, very much in a great position for this game. So
that's a good point. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Shane Day installed Stroud's offense. He knows, that's a good point. Right. And then also Denzel Perryman,
came from the Texans.
Yeah, he came from the Texans. So I think we have all the information we need to know for the most part, right? It's not like we don't know that, but again, guys, it still boils down to execution. So that's where it's at.
One other point that you need to point out on too is one of their biggest targets that the Texans have. Nico Collins is from Michigan too.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh knows him. And I mean, once again, he evolves, and he's in the NFL, not college, so he evolves.
Yeah. He's got some new tricks,
Got some new tricks, but at the same side, I feel like we got cornerbacks that can find ways to just lock down Nico Collins. And I think it's really about Nico Collins, and I believe it's going to be Dalton Schultz. And then if we could basically lock down Mixon, we will be in a great position. But Nico Collins, bottom line, is the biggest guy you want to basically lock down. They do have Deontay Johnson too, as another wide receiver. So, but here's hot off the press. Here's the injury report for the Chargers for the most part. So interesting thing, Eli Apple all of a sudden popped onto the IR list, or off the IR list.
Right.
And he had 2 full practices. Questionable. He'd probably be activated at this point. Chargers can activate 2 players off the IR going into the playoffs. So you assume he will be. And also at the same side, Simi Fehoko had 2 full practices. So you assume he will be activated too. So
yeah,
pretty crazy to see, guys. Great to be able to see more players getting healthy and getting more players involved. I mean, the only other player that's going to be out will probably be Josh Palmer. And then it looks like Jasir Taylor will probably be doubtful in this one. But I think all these players will be playing. J.K. Dobbins. I mean, Gus Edwards got a full practice in. He's got no injury situation.
Yep.
Everybody looks like they're going to be good. You're getting hot at the right time. You're getting healthy at the right time. Your momentum is on your side. It's great to see.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one other thing I will say too is that, we're doing well. We're playing good football on both sides of the ball for sure. They might put some of these questionable people on a rotation. If you notice, even the wide receivers like Quentin Johnson, he was in and out quite a lot, right? So they are rotating a lot of these players in and out. So they might put them on a snap count. They might just say, "Hey, look, we're not gonna overrun you." And I do believe Zeke will be available potentially if he wants. Now, again, is he? Maybe that's why we let McFadden go, because we needed to activate somebody. We're going to bring somebody back down, and who knows? But my point is that he wouldn't be bad, but they'd probably keep him a pretty basic run options, right? It's inside zone, outside zone, halfback dive right, halfback dive left. And I'm probably not going to do anything any crazy type of work for him, right? Because he doesn't know the offense that well. So, anyways.
Hey, you don't really need to know how much of the offense if you just run straight. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
Run the A gap, B gap. I mean, that doesn't change, So
just hit that hole. Just hit that hole, baby.
Hit that hole, man. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So bottom line is though too is all these players, they gotta play. There's no chance that they're going to be sitting. This is the playoffs. You guys, you got to be putting in 100%, no matter what, all on the table. This is the season, it's win or go home, and none of them want to go home at this point. They want to keep going. They want to, let's go all the way, baby. Let's do it.
That's exactly right.
It's exactly big game, man. Big game for both teams. Win or go home. It's a great situation all around. And just to point out also on the Texans injury report, Shaq Mason is out of this game with a knee injury. The thing about that one, he is their starting guard too, their right guard, I believe. Left guard, I think. No, left guard. So he will be out. So once again, if I'm a coach, you attack the weaknesses, right? You attack where you need to be able to get your most level of success.
Yes, sir.
Go after that, guys. Go after that area and attack them. Now, I will also say John Mechie did have a limited full. You assume he's going to be out there, so they might have one other weapon out there too. And I like John Mechie when he came out of, I believe, Alabama.
Yeah.
So good player all around. But once again, Jose, thank you so much for the other super chat, $2 super chat, man. But once again, that's the whole thing. Shane Day, we have insight from Shane Day for offensive side of things. We have insight with Denzel Perryman, who was with the defense last year. Same defensive coordinators over there still too. Obviously, DeMarco Ryans is kind of essentially that guy too, but there's a lot of insight that we have with this team that we could really find ways to be able to exploit this team even further. So that's the X factor, in my opinion.
That is.
Kurt says, I'm a Texas fan. Shaq Mason playing is more of a weakness than having him out. Okay, well, that's good to know. And I will say this: I know a lot of people are giving the offensive line for the Texans they're not singing their praises. We'll leave it at that, right? So I can't remember. There's a Pro Bowl lineman. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Tunsil, I think is his name. Yeah. He's not playing great. Apparently, he's having a horrible year, at least the way people are viewing it. So, there we go.
Laramie Tunsil,
yeah, Laramie Tunsil, right? So thank you, Kurt. But I've just heard that he's just really struggling, and so again, we'll see how Jesse Minter tries to exploit that. But again, that's where's the advantage? Where do we get the edge? That's what we care about, right? So we'll have to discuss on that.
Well, and it's interesting too because I think Laramie Tunsil was the guy that was before the draft, how he had the big old mask on and he was smoking weed out of it and everything. And then wasn't that the guy that ended up stock dropped and he ended up going undrafted and everything like that? And it was kind of a weird thing, weird thing. But anyways, I just looked at his PFF. He's actually ranked pretty high, but like at the same side, he's 30. Things kind of get a little bit more, rickety. Your body gets a little bit beat up.
He was a Pro Bowler, so he should be ranked higher than that. That's what I was saying. It's an awful year for him.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Here we go.
It's not to say like the whole offensive line has given up like 56, 57 something sacks this season too. It's not good.
Okay, here we go. So this is what he says. Laramie Tunsil plays good, but he's best O lineman. He's given good stats. However, he either still is or was a long time leading the league in penalties.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. There we go.
And I noticed that on his PFF, he did have some really, really.
There we go. Yeah. Too. Okay. That's what it was. I knew it was something like that. I didn't think it was his pass pro or anything like that. I think it was. Yeah. Anyways. So but nonetheless, it is what it is, right? So we'll see. And I think a few people have brought this up. I remember there was a couple of people giving me a lot of crap for these 4-man rushes, and I'm thinking, hey, we're going to be fine with this. Just keeping the quarterback in the pocket. We might see some more exotic blitzes come this direction in this game, just because. We haven't blitzed a whole lot, guys. We've actually played pretty solid zone. Yeah. We might see some interesting blitzes. So, we shall see what happens.
Absolutely. And they even go back to the whole penalty side of things too. For the Texans, they actually are number 26th in the league in having the most penalties per game, which is about 7 per game.
Ooh, dang.
So they're pretty high on that side too. So, obviously, that could be a lot to do with what's going on with, like, say, the O-line and making a lot of mistakes. It's a coaching situation, too. I'm not sure. But also the Chargers are basically 5th in the league offensively. So 5th best to not give up penalties or have penalties on the offensive side. So
that's good.
That's a stat you got to keep an eye on. Once again, pressure creates diamonds, right? And, pressure could create basically a lot of situations, too. Where you make mistakes and mental errors. Maybe the crowd's super loud. I hope the Bolt fam is really showing up. It seems like there's a fair amount. If we could really go out there and be very, very loud and make this kind of a home game for us, that would be awesome to be able to see. That would be great.
I think that's a huge stat to say, though, that we were low on penalties, especially when we play the Chiefs twice a year. Or I should say the Cheats twice a year.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well,
so frustrating.
And it is interesting, though. And by the way, guys, you Houston fans in the chat, thank you for joining. Seriously, it's awesome. So we love to engage with all the other fans out there as well, too. Again, guys, the NFL is awesome, and thank you for putting your thoughts in as well. We really appreciate it. But I will say this: it's interesting. The offense is 19th. I would have thought they'd be higher, but 19th isn't the best. Pretty middle of the pack. Right. The defense, they were better last year, if I remember correctly. That's still really good. 14th ranked is good, but I would have expected to be a little higher as well. So, we shall see.
But points scored, points given up is exactly the same. Yeah, that's the issue. Like, that's why you're at this point where you're kind of like, who are the team?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And go back to the BS years. I mean, it was always minuscule differences between offense and defense, and it always created 1-point type games, 1-score type games. Like, that's the hard part of it. When you're scoring 21.9 and you're allowing 21.9, you have a lot of close games, and it's just frustrating. It's frustrating to watch.
It really is. Yeah. But again, we got to play our best offense and defense, and we'll see what happens. Right. So I think the mindset for the Chargers is good, right? I think it's a little less not playing to win, not playing to lose, right? And just it's a different type of mindset for sure. So
100%.
And this is the big stat right here.
Yep.
Keep that one in mind. They are one of the back end worst teams in the league in red zone scoring. And it could be just because they don't have a whole heck of a lot of targets. Maybe if they're trying to play power football, their O-line can't do their job. That's not good. And then also on top of that,
the other side,
allowing a whole heck of a lot.
Yep.
Too. That's big. So those are very big. Ooh, that was.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Wow. Boy.
Oh, boy. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Give me the crayon back. You know what I mean? Come on.
The thing is, though, this thing gets cut off right here, man. It gets cut off right in that corner. It's kind of deceiving.
You're supposed to keep the color inside the line, bro.
Yeah. Wow. Did you learn that in grade school? Come on now.
No,
color inside the line.
Those are the big stats for this team. Bottom line, red zone scoring is going to be huge. And we do a very, very good job defensively in the red zone. And we're one of the tops, and we'll actually show you that stat here pretty shortly. But
yeah,
that's going to be a big, big part of this game. Guaranteed. It's going to be a big part.
Yeah, a lot to be said about that. But again, it's all about us just being the best we can possibly be. And, I think this team has the right mindset. I think it's, if nothing else, what Jim Harbaugh has allowed these young men to do is become the best versions of themselves. And look at Deion Henley right here and Derwin James. These are the two perfect examples of that.
Unreal.
Deion never even saw the damn field his rookie year because Brandon Staley was so stupid to allow him to play. Yeah. Still pissed off about that, right?
Yeah.
Bottom line. And then Derwin James was used so stupidly across the field with no real formulation, anything. It was just he. I think he lined up in 6 or 7 different positions. On the defense. What the hell is that all about, guys? Yeah. It's stupid, right? So I'm just saying, at least we got adults in the room actually running a defense properly, right? That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Oh, big time. Big time.
Just let Derwin do what he does best, and that's be safety.
Let him do his thing, man. And I mean, once again, he's playing that Kyle Hamilton type role perfectly, like what the Ravens utilize him. He's doing great off the edge. I mean, last couple of weeks, he's been making some just
unbelievable
tackles, creating pressure, just bulldozing through running backs too. Like, it's wild to be able to see him just like throwing people around like little kids, dude. And unreal. But this stat is insane. So Deion and Derwin James have been the league's best against tight ends. They've allowed 66 yards in 12 games facing Brock Bowers twice, which once again, we showed that slide. He's killing it. Easily could be a top. He could probably be second in offensive player of the year for rookie side of things. Pat Freiermuth, Travis Kelce, Njoku, Andrews, Mike Gesicki, Kyle Pitts, Trey McBride. Once again, Trey McBride had 111 catches over almost 1,200 yards this year.
That's
Hunter
crazy.
Henry, Cade Otton.
That's crazy.
66 yards versus those guys in 12 games. That is ridiculous. I mean, once again, you could essentially say, well, Derwin, you could do what you want to do. We're just going to put Deion on every tight end. He's going to cover him. Allow Derwin to basically be Derwin at that point and be an absolute game wrecker. I mean, that is massive to have a guy like Deion Henley out there. And we knew as Bolt Bros, and I swear probably every fan knew, Deion needs to be out there. He is phenomenal in coverage. He is great, and he's getting better about understanding the run coverage side of things too. He's getting more like that Swiss Army knife type guy, but an all-purpose throughout the defense type guy.
Yeah, he's the prototypical linebacker play moving forward for the NFL 100%. because he could go sideline to sideline, bigger than a safety, bigger than a cornerback, but has the ability to also stop the run as well too. I mean, I think he had 10 tackles 11 games in a row or something like that. It was some. I mean, I can't remember the stat now. I'm just trying to come off memory, and that ain't always the best, guys. But I'm just full disclosure. But I'm just saying,
dude, we need to get some.
I need to get below. I mean, I'm drinking some coffee right now, trying to hype myself up. But my point is, he's been great, right? So Colson is still learning the position as well too as a rookie, but I'm just saying it's exciting to see what Deion and Derwin James are doing. It's fantastic.
And just even throw it out there. Derwin is a player of the month, AFC Defensive Player of the Month. I mean,
wow.
Gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. I mean,
that's electric right there, baby.
You get hot when you need to be, right? the plainness is sending for Derwin James. He is understanding his position a lot more. I mean, like I said, it's fun to watch Derwin this last month.
Oh, he's been crazy.
He's been absolute menace all around. I mean, he has been great off the edge. He is basically just being an absolute beast and get hot at the right time. That's the whole idea here. We have been in momentum-wise last 2.5 games, give or take. We've been very, very good. So bottom line, the Texans have been floundering, in my opinion. So
remember that movie, I'm Going to Get You, Sucker?
The Pimp of the Year.
Pimp of the Year award, dude.
Pimp of the Year. Yeah.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Yeah, that's literally a movie we were raised on as Bull Pros. That was our movie back in the days, dude. Oh, the Wayans brothers, everything. Oh my gosh, so funny.
Yep.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Somebody talked about, Tuli Tuipulotu being kind of the under the radar guy. 8.5 sacks. He leads the team in sacks. And he's doing big things this year too for us. And I love seeing Tuli out there. I'd love to be able to see some packages too with Tuli, Mack, and Bosa on the line once again and just really being game wreckers.
Yeah.
With Puna Ford right in the middle, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and T.R. Tar's been incredible too, right? I mean, a pickup. Yeah. I mean, how dumb are the Dolphins to let May walk? We scoop him up. He was absolutely incredible. Gets an interception first time he gets. Of course, he blows his knee out the next game, and then T.R. Tar, we scoop him up for peanuts. Yep. He's been like an All-Pro this year. I'm assuming we'll see what happens, but I'm assuming we do sign them to long-term contracts, is what I would assume.
You got it.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my thoughts on that.
It's going to be fun to watch this one, man, and how this defense works. And it's funny, I've watched a lot of other podcasters and people talking about the Chargers and everything. They said, look, the offense is good over there. I mean, obviously we've been scoring about 35 points a game in the last 3 games too. So that's pretty dangerous.
Crazy.
And
it's crazy we're moving up that.
Right. We're moving up the charts. We're 11th in the league now at 23.6 points.
Yeah.
I swear mid-year we were like 25, 26. Yeah. We were low. We were not good.
Very low.
Not good.
Start of the year was very slow. Yeah. It was not that great. And
so that's the thing. Like, our defense is the best in the league against getting scored on. And so that's where a lot of the Texans fans are like, look, I'm scared more about their defense than anything. That's the whole thing. Like, if this defense allows themselves to just be bullies, just like what they wanted to be, right? They just wanted to be just bully, baby. They just want to bully him, dude. Punch him in the mouth offensively
in a dark alley, baby. Yes,
that's right. But, that's the thing. This team knows what to do. And going back to this whole stat right here, look, we're number 1. Look at that's a better looking one.
Hey, number 1. I like that. You can just do an underline, dude. Just do an underline.
Maybe I should.
Just do an underline. Just do an underline. It's a little easier.
A little easier. It is. It's probably a better way to go with it. But we're number 1 in red zone scoring percentage and not allowing them to score. That's huge. Yeah. That's huge. That is a massive, massive stat for this team. And then obviously our red zone scoring is about 56% on point, and I'll just underline it there.
There you go.
18th in the league, so we're much more higher than the Texans on that side in situational football. One thing I'm going to say about that red zone scoring, like even to say the last game, we had 3 plays on the 1 yard line, 1 yard to goal basically, and we still couldn't punch it in. And that's kind of the reason why I think we got Zeke Elliott. Now, Gus Edwards will be back in this game. Looks like he's going to be cleared to be able to play. But, I mean, still, we need to basically have a guy that can really punch it in the end zone for us.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Zeke is called up on this. Actually, that's probably a good thing to learn. I wonder. I think we can bring him in. Let's Google that real quick.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. I'm sure we could bring him in. I mean, that's where I think the whole idea of letting go Jordan McFadden to be able to kind of open up a roster spot. It's possibly they're also going to activate Fehoko, and they're going to activate Eli Apple too. So they had to find some wiggle room.
To
be able to bring them in. So I'm sure he will be called in for sure. So, but bottom line, guys, the thing I keep emphasizing, momentum is key, guys. Going into the playoff is absolutely paramount for your team to have great momentum. Now, once again, the Texans did win last week. They played 3 games in about 11 days too, by the way. So they've kind of been gassed for the last couple of weeks. They got smoked by the Ravens. I mean, that score didn't make any sense when I was looking at it. But bottom line, they're going to basically have another version of the Ravens that they're playing against this week. The Chargers are essentially a copycat of the Ravens at this point in a lot of different ways, from the GM to offensive coordinators to the Harbaugh mentality to the Jesse Minter who was with the Ravens. same kind of defense, guys. So this is going to be an awesome game all around. I cannot wait to be in Houston and to be able to enjoy this one, man. It's going to be a great time, guys. So
are you even sleeping, James, at this point?
No, actually, I have not slept basically through Monday night to this point. I mean, last night I took a little bit of like, nighttime type medicine type thing just to see if I could help me out. It helped me out a bit, but I feel like very restless, very restless.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, James was so excited for this game. We bought tickets way early, in my opinion. He's like, we got to get these tickets now. It's going to sell out. I'm like, James, I think we probably could wait. We can wait. Nope. We got to get them now.
We got to get them,
nope.
dude.
Yeah.
Got to get them.
Hey, but you know what? Yeah, it's good. We probably overpaid for them. I do need to fire up my OnlyFans page to somehow pay for these tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it is what it is, guys. It'll be great. Right. Once we get in the seats, we got some really nice seats on the visitor side. So, and again, it does look like a lot of Charger fans are going to make the trip. So it should be a lot of fun.
So too. Yeah, it's going to be a good time, man. You're going to have a great time out there for sure, man. I'm peanut butter and jealous that I'm not going to be out there. So you're going to have to actually turn it up just a little bit more just for me, for my sake. All right.
Well, I will say this. I'll wrap up my final thoughts. When I was at the Chargers-Ravens game in LA, I was cheering so hard. I popped a blood vessel in my right eye. James, it must have happened at some point during the game. He looked at me and he was looking at me kind of weird. I'm like, I got this red eye. I look like a zombie. I was like, turning into a zombie at that point. But
just,
it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I can see that, man. Shoot,
yeah, hey. But yeah, here we go. That's exactly right. Yeah, the foot photos. That's what I sell. My foot
photos.
Foot photos. Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I'll just say this, guys. I'm excited to see what this Chargers team does. Right. I think we are a dangerous team in the playoffs. I think we're peaking at the right time. And we're playing very good defense as we played all season, and now we're playing very good offense as we have not played all season. Right. I think that's what makes us deadly. And special teams has been great. Like, it's been awesome. So I'm just hoping we show up and show out and just really, put the NFL on notice that the Chargers are a legitimate team now, and get that monkey off our back, get a playoff win, get some momentum, and just show the NFL that we mean business. So I'm excited to see this game. I'm excited to be there. I feel very calm though. I know, James, you're not. James is very focused. He had.
I can only imagine. I could only imagine being a player going out on field for situations like this. I mean, you hear about players and then barfing on the field and barfing just before they go out on the field, and just the amount of nerves that they have. I mean, me as a fan, I'm like, holy smokes, man! Like, can't sleep, dude. I can't sleep.
Yep,
crazy, man.
Man, that's wild.
I like
bro.
that. I like that.
Because truth is, like, man, I feel like I'm just happy, man. Like, I'm just happy that we're making the playoffs, and it's gonna be a huge testament to Jim Harbaugh when we do not have the same situation that we had with Booty Stank. So
Booty Stank.
Yeah, it's gonna be a whole different animal this year, and I'm excited to see what we do, man. So I'm not really worried about the game too much, like, because obviously at the end of the day, we're just fans. We want to see our team win, but and we do the best we can to help the fans, but we can't do anything to help the players to be prepared for it. So yeah, but man, like I think a lot of things actually line up for me, like, as my final thoughts, that I think the Chargers will come out on top. We do have a lot more momentum going into this game. And we have key players that we need in this team to perform. And I'll just say this: look, guys, we're fans of all the wild card teams this weekend, because if all of us win, then we have a home game in the divisional. That's the important part right now. So, yeah, man. So I guess we are Broncos fans this week and Steelers fans this week. So let's keep that riding. Let's keep that going.
See what happens there.
Anything's possible, right? Anything is possible. But I mean, there's even a path where you could even potentially have the AFC Championship game in LA too. So which would be
and that's wild. If the stadium doesn't burn down, holy smoke, dude.
God,
right?
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Once again, guys, be safe out there, man. It's crazy to be able to see what's going on out there in LA. So,
yeah.
Yeah, man. My final thoughts, momentum is going to carry this team, I think. And my concern about it is the whole thing about happening with the Fires and kind of pushing our practices and kind of halving our time on field and everything like that. Hopefully that does not be a distraction to the players. I don't want that to basically distract them from the goal in front of them. I believe Jim Harbaugh will do a great job of keeping everybody focused. But I think we got a lot more weapons. I think we got a better situation health-wise. I think we got a lot more momentum all around is all I'm just going to say. And we have those X-factor players, Shane Day, Perriman being in the defense. We have two guys that have basically been in the offense with Shane Day and, Denzel Perriman within the defense. We got those. Nico Collins obviously was a Jim Harbaugh guy at Michigan. We have a lot of things that we could basically have as X factors for this team. So I'm excited about it, man. And bottom line, I'm just stoked to be able to be out in Houston, man. It's going to be great. Never been to Houston, but I'm excited for some Texas barbecue. I'm excited to be out there with some fans, and it's just going to be a great time, man. So this is going to be a good one. Big time stat too. Let's make sure you do not take your foot off the gas. Go out there and just keep your foot on the gas the entire game.
Yep.
This is the playoffs. Win or go home.
That's right. All ass, no breaks. That's right.
Hello.
That's right.
You play to win the game.
That's right, baby.
That's exactly right.
And George, I mean, that would be the thing too. So if the other wild card teams lose, Chargers win, we will be playing the Chiefs for sure in Kansas City, which this is the time you want to basically beat them, right? You want to just stick it to them. And that's the perfect time to stick it to them. Third time's a charm, right?
That's right.
No lube. Stick it to them.
When it counts too, for sure.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, guys. Well, we're the Boat Bros. Again, wish us luck, man. Wish us luck. Wish us luck. Wish us luck.
Oh, hey, I only got one more question.
Who's got it better than us?
Nobody.
All right, guys. We're the Boat Bros. We'll see you guys in Houston.
Zoo, Boat Bros.
Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching the Boat Bros podcast. Let's go.
Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.